What the hell just happened in Boston? Holy crap, what a crazy comeback by the Brooklyn Nets. I would say, in my time of being a fan for the past, I don't know, almost 20 years now, that has to be the most unexpected Nets win I've ever seen. Jersey, Brooklyn, doesn't matter. I was like in my kitchen getting food at like middle of the second quarter. My brother's a Celtics fan. He's just walking in the kitchen with like a little grin on his face. And, there's nothing to say as a Nets fan. You're just like, it is what it is. But down 28 points in the second quarter, they make this insane comeback. They actually take the lead by the end of the third quarter, and they actually hold on in the fourth. Big plays by Mikal Bridges, big threes by Dorian Finney-Smith, who finally found his shot. Even Spencer Dinwiddie had a nice game. Nets benefited from an off three-point shooting game from Jason Tatum, things like that. I think Rob Williams left with a hamstring injury, so that helps as well. But my goodness, what a great comeback by Brooklyn, who, they were outscored 37-15 in the first quarter, and you're sitting there thinking, man, this sucks. Like, I can't even watch this team anymore. But late second quarter comes around, you start to see some signs of life. They cut it to like a 22-point game or something, and it's like, all right, well, at least it's not too embarrassing. Third quarter happens. The Nets outscored Boston 34-20 in the third quarter, which obviously was not expected at all. And then the fourth quarter, Nets outscored them 26-21. So the Nets held the Celtics, who have to be top 5 in the NBA in total offense and all that, offensive efficiency, to 41 points in the second half. And this is what we had envisioned when the Nets put this team together, right on the fly, after the All-Star break or the trade deadline, when you had all these 3-and-D wings and you would have these switchable defenders. This was a good matchup for Brooklyn. It really was. I feel like Boston is a team the Nets can match up with. Of course, Boston's much better. I'm not making that argument. But in terms of matching up defensively, as compared to that Nets team that got swept last year, I know they had Kevin and Kyrie. That's great. But this team, at least size and length-wise, is so much better than what the Nets had last year with like Patty Mills and Seth Curry on the floor. It was terrible. So it's great to get this win. And I would say, including the fact that the Nets have not beat this Celtics team in the last 10 games, like I think the Nets' last win versus the Celtics up until tonight was like November of 2021. So, we're talking like a full year and like 4 months or something. It's been crazy. So they finally get it done, but it was pretty cool. Actually, I want to see the exact score. I definitely bookmarked it at some point. I think John Boy Media posted a picture of like what the exact scores were. So with 7:23 to go in the second quarter, it was 51-23 Boston. And of course, everyone's thinking this game's over. Like, why'd they put this shit on ESPN? Like, it was pointless. The Nets suck. And then by the fourth quarter, well, they took this picture in the fourth quarter. With 7:59 to go in the game, the Nets were up 100-88. So I still don't know how it happened. I can't really fathom what just happened here, but it's pretty cool. Dorian Finney-Smith, once again, awesome game. 5 of 11 from 3. I've never seen Finney-Smith. I've only seen him play as a net for like 3 weeks, but I've never seen this man take even close to 11 threes. But 5 of 11 from 3, 17 points, a plus 14. He was definitely really good on defense tonight. Had 9 rebounds as well. Had 2 blocks. Had a great block in the first half, weak side block. You had Mikal Bridges, who I don't think I brought up yet. He was awesome. Mikal with 38, so he's had a 45-point game as a net, a 38-point game as a net, both of them resulting in wins. I think those are the only wins that he's had as a net so far. So in games where Bridges scores over 38, the Nets are undefeated, so you got that going for you. He was 13 of 22, 4 of 6 from 3, 10 rebounds, had 4 assists, plus 8 overall. Nick Claxton only had 2 points, 1 of 4, but did have 12 rebounds, did have 2 assists, did have 3 blocks, so he made an impact defensively, of course, had some good rebounds. Dinwiddie was, he was all right. He was plus 5, 17 points, 6 of 14, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 of 6 at the line. He missed a pair, remember that. He had 8 assists, which is definitely big. 3 steals, that's also nice. And even a guy like Royce O'Neal, who, let's be honest, has not been worth a first-round pick so far. But in a game like tonight, he definitely showed up. He had 10 points, a plus 14. He was 1 of 6 from 3, so he's definitely had better games shooting-wise than this. But I feel like defensively, this was one of his better games. So I liked what I saw from Royce O'Neal, 3 assists, 1 steal as well. Joe Harris played 8 minutes. He made a 3, so But my goodness, Joe Harris got cooked. I mean, my brother texted me like Joe Harris is a cone, and I think I missed that play. But then I saw a replay of it. It was the play where Jaylen Brown did like the hesitation move, and Joe Harris like completely whiffed. And I think that led to Cam Johnson getting his third or fourth foul. I think Johnson had the foul because Joe Harris got beat so badly. So yeah, Joe Harris can't play defense. It's a damn shame at this point. Seth Curry was not that bad. He didn't make a three. It was 0 of 3 from downtown, but a plus 14, 8 points, 4 of 8. Had 3 steals. Wow, 3 steals. I know he had that one steal that led to the layup, but 3 steals for Seth Curry. He poked the ball away from Tatum that one time. That was nice. Cam Thomas was, it was not his night. 7 minutes, 0 of 4, minus 14. So the Nets really finished in the second half with like only 6 or 7 guys. Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, Mikal, Clax, Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, and a little bit of Seth Curry. So they played like 6 or 7 guys in the second half. And obviously that might not be sustainable because you're going to need more bodies than that. But still, I mean, to have that happen was awesome. I've said plenty of times I hate Boston. They're like my most hated team in basketball, so to finally beat them is a great feeling. I know they're in a much better spot than we are, but it's about damn time we got to win here. So, you know, I kind of reached a point with the Nets where it's like I didn't really care anymore if they won or lost, and during the second quarter and even the first quarter, I was just laughing like this team is horrendous. Like, how are we supposed to watch another 18, 19 games of this crap? But they got it done. And it's, once they win a game like that, it feels good. It kind of draws you back in and you're thinking like, all right, maybe this team can do something. And yeah, now I kind of feel like I'm getting sucked back in here and I'm going to look like a damn fool when they probably lose their next 5 games. But at least for right now, it feels pretty good. I know they play the Hornets next and they play the Rockets after. So, a 3-game win streak's not impossible, but, you got to play the games. You got to win the games. So, yeah, this was awesome. Just one of the most unexpected wins you'll ever see. And I was a little nervous. There was a time where, like, the Nets took the lead in the late third quarter. They were up, like, 90-84. And I'm thinking, like, hey, it was a good run, but I feel like Boston's going to come back. And I don't think Boston made a 3 the entire third quarter. They may have hit like 1-3 the entire second half, maybe 2. I know that Horford made the first one in a long time, and then I think Marcus Smart made a pull-up 3 at one point after that. But they might have had like 2 or 3 threes the entire second half, which, Boston definitely loves shooting some 3-pointers. So when they were off shooting from downtown in the second half, it definitely helped the Nets defensively. So, Boston killed them in just about every category in the first half. I want to look at the team totals to see how badly everything looked overall. The Celtics did shoot 6% better, but the Nets got up 11 more shots, so that brings me to rebounds. The Nets actually were out-rebounded by 1, but the Nets had 13 offensive rebounds to their 9. There was one possession, and this kind of scared me too, where the Nets had like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds. I know Cam Johnson missed 2 threes in the corner on that possession. I think Mikal Bridges missed a layup on that possession and like some other shot, but they had like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds on one possession and they couldn't get the damn ball in the hoop, and that led to some Celtics momentum, and I'm like, damn, that was like the possession right there. If they made a shot there, they would have kept that momentum, and I thought for sure at that point that based on like the 4 offensive rebounds and not getting a point out of it, that it was going to result in a Boston run, but it didn't happen. So the Nets did a good job of like stopping the bleeding in the second half. I mean, the Celtics didn't have that many runs, and it was great to see. So down 28 to somehow up by 16 at one point in this game. You can tell I'm still dumbfounded. I don't know how it happened, but it's awesome. The Celtics did have 18 more points in the paint. That's definitely a problem, but the Nets have never had a backup center since I don't know. When's the last time we had a backup center? Like Jerome Jordan in 2014? I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I don't know why they can't build this roster correctly, but that's none of my business. They were pretty even in a lot of categories. The Nets actually had 6 less turnovers. That's a big thing, but like fast break points was close. Assist was close. Steals was close. Blocks was close. Everything was pretty much right there. 3-point percentage, Nets shot 31.8%. The Celtics shot 30%. So when you get the Celtics shooting 30% from 3, you're going to give yourself a decent shot to win those games. So as I said, this is what you envisioned when this team was put together. Like, that's why it was so frustrating. You saw these Nets games recently, and they were giving up 130 points, 120, 140. I think the Knicks put up 140 something, right? 142 against this team. They gave up 118 to the Bucks. They gave up 129 to the Hawks, 131 to the Bulls. And it was like, bro, the one good thing about this team was supposed to be defense, and you can't even play defense. But at least tonight we saw it. I know Boston, they missed some open shots that they normally would make, but I think the Nets overall played a good defense. I have to give them credit. It wasn't just as simple as, oh, Boston, they missed some, open shots. Like, no, I think the Nets actually did a good job tonight defensively. There were some breakdowns in the first half that were very embarrassing. There may have been like 3 separate occasions where a Celtic had a wide open lane to the basket. One of those was a Jaylen Brown dunk. I remember that play. I think Royce O'Neal was supposed to switch with Mikal Bridges. It never happened, and had a wide open lane to the basket. There were a couple other times where a Boston player just had a wide open lane to the hoop. But like aside from that, I think the second half something changed, and I got to give Jacque Vaughn credit. I'm still a little annoyed that Jacque Vaughn got the premature extension. They should have let the year play out first, but it is what it is. But to coach your team back from something like that, down 28 to possibly the best team in the NBA. I think they're the best team in the NBA, Boston. So, down 28 on the road, you haven't beaten them in over 1 year, a year and 4 months, whatever I said before. There's been some bad vibes playing against Boston. So for you to just, be able to coach this team back and just keep them focused and engaged and play the right lineups and rotations, that was big. So I give Jacque Vaughn a lot of credit. I don't think he's a perfect coach by any means, but tonight at least he was pretty damn good. So I liked what I saw there from Jacque Vaughn. So standings-wise, I guess they still remain as the 6th seed. They're probably still like a game and a half back of the Knicks. I think the Knicks played tonight. I forget. I think they played the Heat, right? So I'll check right now if they won that game or not. It might still be going on, but it is actually a Knicks lead with 56 seconds left, 118-116. So I'll just probably stick around until this game's over just to find out. But the Nets can gain a game, I guess, on the Knicks. I know they tied their season series 2-2, so I don't know how the tiebreaker works outside of that, but there's a lot of games left, so it's not really worth worrying about right now. But anyway, I guess it's good, though, because I know the Nets are trying to fend off the Heat, so if the Knicks win, the Heat get further back from the Nets. I guess whatever happens. It's probably a positive no matter what. But yeah, I mean, for this Nets team, it's about can you stay in the 6th seed? Like, you don't want to fall back to the 7, 8, 9, 10 area where you have to be in a play-in tournament. We saw that last year. We saw the Nets had to match up with Boston. We saw the Nets get swept. That's something that you definitely want to avoid. But as I said last video when I talked to you guys, the Nets have a tough schedule. We know that for sure. They had the 7th toughest schedule coming out of the break, and you can see why. There are some tough teams out there, so it's just disappointing, though, how the last, 6 out of 7 games went, basically. Like that game at Philly, not at Philly, home versus Philly still kind of irks me. The missed call when James Harden had that defensive foul, that could have easily been a win. You had that game against Atlanta on Sunday where that could have been a win, of course, and had some games where he didn't even bother showing up, like the last 2 Knicks games, the Milwaukee game, the game at Chicago, of course, when they were down like 70-29 at one point. So, as I said, very unexpected, but a fun win tonight. We do get Charlotte, Houston, and then at Milwaukee after this, and I think they're at Minnesota after that. So, tough schedule. Then you have Denver, OKC, Sacramento, Denver again, Cleveland twice, at Miami. It's going to be tough. This is a tough stretch. I think if the Nets are serious about staying in the top 7 seeds or top 6 seeds, they have to win these next 2 games. You can't afford to drop a game versus Charlotte without LaMelo Ball. You can't afford to lose to a Houston team that I think might have the worst record in the entire NBA. You have to find a way. Get yourself on a 3-game win streak and go to Milwaukee on a 3-game win streak. Hopefully pull out a win there somehow and see what happens. But yeah, this was awesome. Great to finally beat Boston. Hopefully this gives them some momentum and we can stop talking about tanking, but we'll find out what happens in the coming days. I'll try to talk to you guys probably maybe after that Milwaukee game on Thursday. If not, probably after that Minnesota game a week from now on Friday night. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.